In this episode, we are going to discuss why movement is one of the strongest tools we have against depression and why taking care of your body is the first act of self-respect that carries over into every other aspect of your life. So if you're stuck right now, if you feel low, flat, low on energy, low on hope, I want to give you, men, the one starting point that has never failed me or failed any man that I've ever worked with. And no, it's not a supplement. It's not a peptide. It's not a mindset hack. It is movement. And look, before you roll your eyes and tell me, I've heard this all before, just give me the next 20 minutes because there is science behind this that I didn't even fully understand until I went looking for it. And it might be the most important thing that you hear all week. So welcome to another episode of Forged, Not Fixed. I'm Tyson Demery. So like I said, today we are talking about fitness and exercise. Not in a way to get a six-pack in vanity sense. No, as medicine. As the first measurable place a man can start when everything feels too much. I am going to make the case that movement is one of the strongest tools you have against depression and low energy. I'm going to show you the science that backs it up, and I'm going to show you why it works on more than just your body. And at the end, we're going to talk about a program that helps men who know they need to start, but struggle to do it alone. Because that part, the accountability part, is the piece almost everyone misses. So let's get into it. So here's why I always point men to exercise first. So fitness is, in my opinion, fundamentally one of the best places for a person to start when it comes to self-care. And the reason's simple. It's measurable. You can see it. You can count it when everything else feels foggy and out of control. This is the one thing you can put in your hands or put on your shoes and actually move the numbers on, right? You see the scale changing, your clothes start to fit a little bit differently. Your energy starts to go up. Your mindset starts to change a little bit. And you can start with something as simple as walking. That's it. A walk. Then you can progress. Sure, you can go to lifting weights a few times a week, sports, or whatever movement you actually enjoy doing. But the entry point, it is so low that no man who's listening has an excuse not to do it. You don't need a gym. You don't need a program. You just need to get up and move your body and then do it again tomorrow. And it's the perfect time of the year to start doing this. It's summer. The reason it matters so much is that movement helps your energy levels, just like I said, okay? It helps with depression. Look, that's not a feeling, and that's not me just trying to motivate you guys to exercise more. No, there is real hard science on what happens to your brain when you move. And I think it's bigger than most men realize or even aware of. Now, for years, I knew exercise, it helped my mood, but I didn't quite know why. I had heard about this one chemical or protein in particular, something that gets released when you exercise, when you move, that has an effect as powerful as taking an antidepressant. Now, I couldn't remember the name, so I went digging for it and I found it. So here's what it actually is. So the chemical is called BDNF. So this is think of it as a fertilizer for your brain. It is not a quick feel-good hit like dopamine. No, okay. It is a protein that helps your brain grow new connections and protects the part of the brain, the hippocampus, that tends to shrink down with people who are depressed. So exercise, it raises it, as do antidepressants. Now that's the bridge between go for a run and take a pill, okay, or go for a walk. When you move, you are literally feeding your brain the thing that helps it heal and rewire. So when I'm telling you guys to go for a walk, It's not some cliche. No, I'm telling you to go feed your brain. The simplest thing on the list, the thing you can start for free, is also the thing that changes your brain chemistry. So that's why we start here. Now, I want to push this just a little bit further because I don't think most men understand just how powerful this is. We treat exercise like an afterthought a lot of time. Like it's a nice thing to have, nice thing to do. And well, I'll get to it when I have things sorted out. But I want to flip the script on this. Okay. For a lot of men, the movement is actually what's going to sort your head out, is what's going to help you get things done. And the research actually isn't soft on this. Okay. It is some of the most striking science I've come across. And I'm going to give you some numbers in a second. And I'm not giving them to impress you. I'm giving them because if you're sitting down here in that low depleted area, maybe you're on medication, maybe you're thinking about new medication or more medication. I just want you to know that the thing you can do for free today has gone toe to toe with the pills in real studies and held its own. So here's what the actual research found. And these are real studies from real universities, not just something I cooked up to make myself sound good and to make you guys go walk. Okay, no. So first one's from Duke University. They ran the most famous one. So adults with major depression were put into 3 groups. First one was exercise. Second group was the antidepressant Zoloft. And the third group was exercise and the antidepressant. Now, after 16 weeks, the exercise group did just as well as a medication group. Exercise alone matched the drug. Then they followed up. So the people who kept exercising relapsed at about 8%. The medication group relapsed at about 38%. I'm going to read that again. So the people who were just exercising, who kept exercising, had a relapse of about 8%. But those that were on the medication alone had a relapse at about 38%. That's a big difference. So the men and women who kept moving, they were better off by almost 5 times than the ones who relied on the medication alone. And that's not just one study. Okay, there's another one in 2024 from the British Medical Journal. This is one of the top medical journals. They reviewed over 200 studies and more than 14,000 people. Now, in those, walking, running, yoga, and lifting weights, they came out as effective as antidepressants for mild to moderate depression with bigger effects, better results, the harder you went. So the more vigorously you exercise, the more benefits you got. So you might want to think of over time progressively getting a little bit more challenging than just walking, but walking, like I said, it's a great place to start. Now look, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not telling any man or woman who's listening right now to take their medication and throw it away. No. If you're on something and it's working, awesome, great. That's between you and your doctor. But movement, it works alongside it as well. It increases it, it enhances it. What I'm telling you is, like, don't look at exercise as like that's a weak option. No, the evidence says it's one of the most powerful tools we have. And it is the one that no one can take away from you, you can't run out of, and you can't be charged from. Okay? No one's going to charge you for walking outside. Now, this is kind of a personal thing for me as well, because I come from a family who struggled with depression. I have struggled with mental health issues for a long time. And so have the majority of the people I've worked with, both men and women. And from what I've seen over and over, is that just starting with something like exercise, like actually giving a damn about yourself, changes someone fundamentally from the inside out. Okay, because taking care of yourself is it's a beautiful form of self-respect. When you start to care for yourself and respect yourself, that doesn't just stay in the gym. No, what you do in the gym, it carries outside of the gym. as well. It carries into how you treat the people in your life, how you love them, how you act around them. The man who respects himself enough to take care of his body, that guy there, okay, he becomes a better husband, a better father, a better brother, a better friend, a better son. It all connects. A better boss, a better employee. So start showing up for yourself so that you can show up for everyone else in your life. That's the order. But most people, they have it backwards. They think, well, I've got to earn the rest. I've got to earn the care. I've got to earn the right to look after myself once everyone else is handled. No. Look, you can't pour from an empty cup. You have to take care of yourself first. It's not about being selfish. It's not out of selflessness. No, because a depleted man has nothing left to give the people who are counting on him. And there's one more reason, okay? The hardest part of this is not about not knowing what to do. I think, again, we all know what we have to do. This isn't new information that I'm sharing. Well, maybe the science stuff is. I mean, that's why I looked it up. I thought it was really cool. The hardest part is doing it maybe when no one's supporting you or no one is watching you or is in it with you, okay? Accountability is what makes success that much more attainable. But it's not the whole game. It's not more information. It's more follow through with people who have your back, with people who've been in a similar place as you, with people who know the struggle. So I want to take a couple of minutes to talk to you guys directly. Look, if you know where to start, if you've known for a while, but you can't seem to do it on your own, I don't think it's because you're lazy and you're not broken. Okay. You're just trying to do it alone. And that was never meant to be how it's supposed to be done. I mean, how many people are much more successful at going to the gym with a training partner, right? And that's kind of why I actually built a program for men. There is group mentoring. So that's where a brotherhood of men, like-minded men like yourself, who are showing up for themselves and are holding each other accountable so that you're never grinding or fighting by yourself. And there is also one-on-one mentoring. This is where you and I can build the plan that fits your life, your body, and where you're actually starting from. And I hold it with you. Okay. So if you don't know where to start, then reach out to someone who does. That's what we're here for. You don't have to figure this all out on your own. Okay. You just have to take the first step and stop taking it alone. If you guys are interested, there is a link in my bio. Take care of yourself because you're worth showing up for, guys. Okay. So here is your work for the week. It's small on purpose, okay? Because something small is something that I think you'll actually do and follow through on. So the first thing, I just want you to move your body every single day this week. It can be as simple as a 10 to 20 minute walk. The point is not intensity, okay? The point is to show up consistently for yourself 7 days in a row, okay? The second one, pick one thing that you can measure. So I don't care if it's steps, minutes walked, number of times you moved this week. Write it down so that when everything else feels out of control, this is the one number you get to move. This is one thing you have control over. And 3, tell one person you're doing it. I'm telling you, accountability is king. And then ask them to check in on you. Ask them to follow up on you, right? Find a walk-in buddy. That is your accountability, okay? Or again, if you need to, reach out to someone like me. There's lots of coaches out there. And let us put a real structure around you, around it. So move every day, measure one thing, and let one person hold you to it. I want you guys to do that for 1 week, and you will feel the difference. Not because anything got easier, but because you finally started showing up for yourself. So this is Forged, Not Fixed. I'm Tyson Demery. And if this hits home, please share it with one man you know who's been stuck. Tell him to start with a walk. Tell him he doesn't have to do it alone. And we'll see you guys next week.